Thank you very much, Pastor Ene, for that introduction. And thank you to everyone who is currently on the call tonight. I appreciate the opportunity to clarify all the questions that have been going around, all the concerns that have been raised ever since the video was published on the YouTube channel of Engineer Anatoly Yunitsky on the 19th of January. Now, let me just share the discussion points. I have 20 minutes to do this, so I'm going to move very quickly. I will start by talking about a publication that was made on the Skyward community website. I don't know if you can see this on my screen right now. Multi-project nature, a new page in the history of SWC. Is this the same thing you can see on your screen? If that's what you see on your screen, give me a thumbs up or put plus in the chat. Okay. Now, if you read through this news to this publication, which was made on the 22nd of October 2025, the summary of it is that Skyward community announced something that they have been thinking about for a while to the community partners. They had discussed this with the curators and directors before bringing it to the community through the news section of the community partners back office. In summary, they said they want to explore other projects. So if you read this section where they say from one project to an ecosystem of solutions, they talk about how they have been with the projects of Anatoly Yunitsky and supporting those projects over the last 10 years, the kind of success they have experienced as a crowd financing platform and successfully financing the Utera Biohumus and Swell Elixir, gaining confidence that they can actually support projects that are of a short-term duration to the completion of their financing and see them succeed, that they want to evolve in a direction where they will support more of such projects and open their ecosystem to projects that are in the direction of human first. So this was the main announcement. Now, having made this announcement, they started to engage with potential new customers and hear proposals from potential new customers about their projects to see if it aligns with their objectives so that they can know whether it is something they will finance or not. And in that same vein, they discussed with their long-standing customer, that is GTI, about their intention to finance other projects. Now, a video was published by Engineer Anatoly Yunitsky in his YouTube channel. Now, many of you have seen the video, but I just extract a very short part from that video, which I'm going to play here, so that those who didn't see this part will actually see the part that sparked all the controversy, all the questions, and all the anxiety. So let's see it.
As part of the GTI Group's development strategy, aimed at preparing for an IPO and distributing investor returns, we are not only optimizing the structure of the group itself, but also refining our engagement strategy with partner investment platforms. Our primary goal remains to enhance transparency, interaction, and protection of investors' interests. Following this logic, the online platform RSW System, a true marathoner in our industry, recently underwent a strategic rebranding and will soon operate as a dedicated marketing company under the new brand Micron Global. This investment platform, unlike others, will be accountable to the GTI Group according to the agreements reached. Thus, the investment platform will operate solely in the interest of all our investors. Therefore, the risk of unscrupulous actions by its management will be completely eliminated.
Now, if you listen very closely and carefully to the wordings of that message, you will hear the statement was made that the RSW platform, which will evolve into Micron Global, will be accountable to the GTI Group according to the agreements reached. Now, what is this, or what does this mean in essence? It means that when one platform, or let us say two platforms together supporting this project since the inception, it gets to the point where one of them now say, we want to begin to support other projects. And they discussed this with GTI. And GTI, if you watch the full video of that, where I took that short clip from, they still need funding. In fact, at this time, they need funding more than ever. So they want to ensure they enter into agreements where they can guarantee this platform is going to be exclusively financing our technology. And at this point in SWC's evolution, they are looking at supporting other projects, because if you look at the fact that we're already in stage 15 of the UST project, and if this stage of this project closes and this project goes to the public market, there might be nothing in the SWC portfolio for investors to support between the time after this company goes public until they get their next customer. Now, as a proactive platform, they began to think ahead, and they said, okay, we will open up our ecosystem and our community to other projects and support them. As a result of which, agreements were now entered into between GTI and the sister crowd financing platform, RSW, for there to be exclusive financing from that platform for string technology projects. And they will also report to GTI according to the agreements reached. It was stated on the video. Now, that's the curators and directors in the Skyward community, we had a meeting, and this meeting was held on the 22nd of January with representatives of the Skyward community. The purpose of that meeting was to formally address the concerns raised in that video, because when that video came out, people were asking, does this mean Skyward community and GTI will no longer work together? And mind you, that video came out during the time we were still buying the Share New Year promotion. So some people had packages they were already paying for, and they were asking what is going on. Does it mean these two companies are no longer going to be in partnership? So to address all those questions, this meeting was held. Now, Skyward community explained to us in that meeting that they have reached the stage where they now require diversification beyond just one project. And the transition to financing multiple projects is something they've been planning for a while, and it is not something they just decided in a hurry. This is something they have prepared for years, and they have been building structures and systems towards this purpose. If you look at very recently now, they have entered into the US market and they have obtained a Security and Exchange Commission license. So they have been working towards this for a while. Now, clarifying their relationship with Unitsky String Technology, Unitsky group of companies, they reaffirmed that they have been long-standing partners and major supporters of the String Technology project. And they are willing to continue supporting this project alongside any other project they go on to support. However, the condition for continuing supporting the project is that there must be equal terms of participation between them and any other crowd financing entity. What does that mean? It means if you are giving a discount that is very huge on one particular platform, that same discount should be given to the partners in the SWC platform as well. So that partners will not be seeing that the portions of UST are selling at a discount that is bigger than what they themselves enjoy in the Skyward community for the same portions. So it must be equal terms of participation. And there must also be shared responsibility and shared accountability, as well as transparent contractual frameworks. So this was their stance, that if we have to continue, they have to be clearly spelled out and equal terms between our company and any other company that is involved in financing this project, be it RSW or rebranded to Micron Global. The terms must be the same. that was their point of emphasis. And they are also saying that they are entering into this multi-project model. They are not reneging. They are not going back on that decision. This is something that they want to do. And this is something that will benefit the members of their community. And it will also position the Skyward community as a mature crowd financing platform that is not tied to a single project. And it's very important that you understand that from the perspective of the Skyward community management, this is a necessary step in their evolution. It will benefit them as well as us. As a matter of fact, if, for instance, what is happening today were a decision that was reached by GTI without any initial prior move by Skyward community to open up their ecosystem to multiple projects, you will see how such a decision will shake the foundation of this crowd financing platform, because they only have one customer. It's like you have one major supplier for your raw materials. If that supplier should probably terminate their business with you, it will affect you to a great extent, which is why you as a businessman may want to have multiple suppliers, so that if one supplier disappoints, you can run to your backup or your alternative supplier. So having multiple projects as a crowd financing platform is a necessary step in their evolution, which they are not backing out of. And in this, their new evolution, they are going to focus on projects such as what they have already been supporting, projects that are creating green technologies, projects that are doing things in healthcare and biotechnology, projects in artificial intelligence and digital technologies. They are also going to focus more on giving education, partner education, to teach people how to choose which project to support. So if you look at your back office in the Skyward community, the news, you'll discover that they have been doing educational webinars. They did one this week. They will continue to do such educational webinars. In fact, the whole of this month is dedicated to educational webinars to teach partners how to identify which projects to participate with, because right now they want to begin to get more projects into the ecosystem, and you will begin to look at this project to decide which ones you want to support. So they want to teach more of how you can build an investment portfolio and pick projects that you want to support. So this is where they are directing their strategy of education towards. So you'll be seeing a lot of educational streams led by external experts and consultants. These projects will teach us how to evaluate projects, how to build a personal portfolio, and give us practical decision-making framework, which will be important to have in a multi-project environment. Now, if you look at both of these companies from a corporate governance perspective, you would see that it is all about control. The key word here, the key word is control, because on the part of Skyward community, which is evolving, they want to control the projects that they bring into their ecosystem. They want to vet these projects. They want to have these project founders report to them how this project is developing, and they want to have a timeline that they can communicate this clearly to the partners in their ecosystem, that this project's timeline for payback is XYZ period. This project is doing XYZ, and in XYZ, you should be able to get returns on that investment. So SWC is asking to have more control over the projects they support. Now, UST, on the other hand, is asking for the same level of control over the platforms that support their string technology. So they are going into exclusive contracts to guarantee that this platform reports to them how the funds are being generated and remitted to the project. So I can say this is more like having two giants whose decisions for growth are not in alignment. And so that's why we are witnessing the decision from one side to partner exclusively with out of the two companies, they're now choosing to go with this other company, RSW. So the key takeaway for us here is that Skyward community is evolving, they are diversifying, and it is not a thing that's happening all of a sudden. It has been planned for a period of time. And as a result of which, GTI is saying that we're not ready for a platform that is not going to support our project exclusively. So we are going to partner with a platform that will guarantee exclusive support for our project. So both of these are indicative of the fact that these two companies are growing. It's almost as if we can say that they are now growing to a stage where the companies are getting too big to be wearing one trouser. I think I'll use that analogy. And then to just move very quickly, because I only have a few minutes to do this. I see a hand is raised, but there is a question and answer section I want to go through. I think we'll cover some of the questions that you might have. So the Q&A, which I'm going to run us through, right? It covers a few questions. Your question may not be here. So if your question is not here, you can still pen it down in the chat. Now, the first question is, why did GTI endorse the RSW platform rather than the SWC? Because the SWC has a bigger community. The SWC has a more developed website. And it makes sense practically to work with the SWC if you are talking about exclusive funding. However, GTI's endorsement of RSW is reflective of a strategic decision to consolidate direct fundraising for the string transport project under platforms that they can fully control. I told you that the key word here is control. And during the meeting we had, the Skyward community clarified their decision that when they made the decision to transition to multi-projects, they actually anticipated that GTI may not be very happy with that decision because they wish to centralize funding and contractual responsibility. So this is a shift that highlights GTI's preference for a platform that they can vertically control. And it was actually stated in the video that they are entering into agreements that will guarantee that that platform reports back to GTI. And they said it was a thing done to ensure transparency. But I think this is more about control than just transparency. Now, moving forward, the next question I have here is, will the portions of GTI be available through the Skyward community platform, or will it only be available on Micron Global? This question is for those people that are asking whether or not the portions they are buying, you know, some people are feeling like, I've already started buying an installment, and right now I'm seeing this information. I'm even seeing the installment is more affordable in another platform. Should I stop my payments? Or if I pay, will it be registered in my ownership, etc.? So here's that answer, or the answer to that question. As of when we had that meeting on the 22nd, the Skyward Community Management said they will enter into conversations with GTI, and the GTI portions for now are going to be available through Micron Global, RSW, etc. However, they will communicate with GTI and try and reach an agreement where mutual equal conditions will be guaranteed and shared responsibilities between their platform, Skyward Community, and any other platform financing string technology. If these equal conditions are given, so you will be seeing the same discount on Micron Global as SWC, not that you will see one platform have a bigger discount than the other platform. If these conditions of equal participations are guaranteed, then they will enter into renegotiated terms and continue supporting the string technology project. But until this is assured, they will not be able to continue financing the project under the current conditions until equal conditions are guaranteed. So The next question, which many of us have been asking, that should I migrate to the Micron Global RSW platform? See, this question is in two parts. If you wish to continue buying portions, because there are two categories I have seen of investors in the community. There are those that have reached their target. You targeted to own 1 million, you have bought 1 million. You targeted 2 million, you have bought it. If you have reached a point where you have bought to the point you say, I'm no longer buying, is it necessary to create an account? No, it is not. But if you wish to continue supporting String Technology, acquiring portions, taking advantage of the discounts you are seeing on this new platform, or not a new platform, this dedicated platform, then yes, you can create an account. So the migration is, I wouldn't even call it a migration. If you open an account on the RSW website, for instance, you will see a reflection of the same information that you have on the SWC website. This does not mean your data was migrated. It merely means that your information that is in the GTI record was reflected on the RSW back office. So what is important in a migration for me, I think, is that when you migrate, try as much as possible to find out if your partner, I'm talking about your upline in the Skyward community, has already migrated, so that you can migrate through them and be with them, under them, continue to receive the same support you've been receiving under their structures in the Skyward community, even in the RSW platform. Because for some persons, they migrated, but they did not move with their team. Their team migrated and the structures changed. So it's now more or less like a chaotic mess. Partners are no longer the way they used to be in the structure of SWC in the RSW structure. So again, yes, if you are continuing to purchase portions and support String Technology, yes, you should create an account under Micron Global and continue to take advantage of the discounts that's available in that platform, because this is the GTI endorsed platform for financing their technology. If Skyward community is able to enter into new agreements with GTI and the GTI portions is made available in the Skyward community back office, then you can still have access to them. But until that is done, for now, you can access them only through the RSW. Does this therefore mean that the portions you're already buying, you will lose them? Those portions that you're already paying for example, you have open installments in your SWC back office, do you lose those portions? No, you do not. Every portion that has already been given to SWC under the previous promotion, like the Share New Year promotion that you have participated in, every open installment, those portions are still with the Skyward community. And if you conclude your payment on those packages, they will still be registered as your property. And the certificates and the ownership rights will be transferred to you. So if you have open installments, they are still valid. You can still conclude those payments. Fourth question, is the management of Skyward community taking steps to restore the relationship with GTI? The answer is yes. The Skyward community confirmed that they will initiate formal communication and send it to the UST group of companies and GTI. Now, this will not just be a request to continue financing the String Technology project, but a statement of their position expressing their willingness to continue cooperation under fair, equal, and transparent conditions comparable to that of Micron Global. Now, I think this next question is already answered. If cooperation continues, will the condition be competitive with Micron Global? If there are no fair conditions, the Skyward community leadership says that they will not be willing to continue cooperation if the terms are not equal and fair. So that is the answer to that question. And then this question I asked, but it wasn't explicitly answered. It was whether or not any measures will be put in place to compensate leaders who would lose their partners as they migrate to Micron Global. Now, of course, Skyward Community will not be responsible for compensating such leaders. However, this particular question makes me understand that in this event, the people who actually lose are neither the Skyward Community nor the Unitsky String Technology Group of companies, because Skyward Community will have more projects to support, and even probably short-term projects that will be more attractive to their community members, so they will lose nothing. In fact, they will gain more new projects that they will support. And the GTI, on the other hand, UST Group, they will also continue to receive support for their project through the dedicated platform Micron Global. So those who really are going to lose, like they say, when two elephants fight, is the ants and the grass that suffer. We are the ones, the leaders, some of who have built structures over the last 10 years or 5 years, depending on when you started building a team in this project. We are the ones who lose the partners in our structure. So at the end of the day, we are the biggest losers in all of these events. Otherwise, it's just business as usual for UST, business as usual for SWC. But for us, we will lose the members of our team. And this is a wake-up call for us to begin to reimagine our strategy for building structures in platforms that we decide to leverage. So Skyward Community, what new projects are they going to support? Like I mentioned earlier, projects in biotechnology and healthcare, artificial intelligence and digital technology, construction and modular development, etc. But the core value they would aim to uphold would be any project they support must be in the direction of human first. And those projects must have a clear business model, clear roadmap, transparent governance structure, and they will report to the Skyward Community. So like I said, it's a question of control. Skyward Community wants the project they support to report to them directly about how the support and the fundings are being utilized. GTI also wants control over the platform that finances their development. So it's a question of control. And it just happens that we are caught in the crossfire between the policy changes of these two companies. Now, the core message here is Skyward Community is not retreating, neither is it the company going to fold up. That is not what is happening. Is a repositioning of the ecosystem to give the partners in the ecosystem freedom of choice. They can continue to cooperate with GTI, but if equals are guaranteed. And the ecosystem, SWC, believes that their community is the core. And this community's future rests on diversification, having multiple projects, education, and long-term sustainability, rather than on a single project. So this, ladies and gentlemen, is the summary of this entire information that I have to share with you. I will now look at the chat and quickly answer a few of the questions here. Mr. George Will says, why are the portions fully paid for still not moved over to ownership over 1 month or two? Now, Mr. George Will, if you check in your SWC back office under registration process, every portion in registration takes 90 days. If you go to your back office now and you click on the information icon, it takes for the registration process to be completed is 90 days. So if you have portions that have stayed for 90 days, they have not moved, that's when you should be worried. You are still within the timeline for registration to be done on your portions. There is no need to panic. Mr. Kayode is asking, are you saying that those of us in SWC need to move to the other platform? Does it mean the SWC platform will cease to exist? If we are to migrate to the other platform, could you please share a step-by-step approach to guide us with migration? Let me start with the first question. those of us in the SWC do not need to move to another platform except if we wish to continue purchasing portions of UST. Then you need to move, because at the moment, those portions are only being made available on RSW. As a matter of fact, we will now have two platforms in which to do business. One of the platforms, the Skyward community, supporting multiple projects, and another platform, the RSW, focused on string technology projects. Does it mean SWC platform will cease to exist? Of course not. In fact, what will happen is that SWC will become a bigger ecosystem supporting multiple projects, and it is already been made evident by the fact they've just obtained a license with the Security and Exchange Commission in the United States of America, which means they can now enter into that market. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the biggest investment markets to be in as a platform that offers crowd financing services. If we are to migrate to the other platform, could you share a step-by-step approach to help us guide us with migration? Let me tell you, if you are migrating, the first thing I want you to find out is the person who brought you into the Skyward community, have they migrated? If yes, please get their link to create your account so that you can still have that relationship you have with them in the Skyward community in the RSW platform. Very important, because migration is not important as support. It's not just enough to create a new account on the sister platform of RSW, but to do so ensuring that you continue to receive the support you are receiving from your present leaders. So when you want to migrate, don't just pick any link and sign up. Someone reached out to tell me that I should help them with account funding on RSW. And someone else reached out to tell me to fund their SWC account. After I did that, the person now told me that how can he move the money to RSW? And I was like, it's not possible. So he was telling me that he thought the two platforms are a mirror image of each other, that they told him that all his details on SWC will appear on RSW. So he thought if he fund his SWC account, the money will appear in the RSW back office. And I'm like, someone has misinformed you if they made you believe that. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's very important to have the proper mentorship and guidance, which is why your leaders, your upline, and the same relationship you have in the SWC, if you can move that with you to the RSW, then you have done an amazing thing. Find out if your team is in RSW and get the link of your upline in SWC to also be your upline in RSW so that you can maintain a relationship where you are supported and nurtured, so that you do not make mistakes that will cost you time or money. Very important. Next question from Taiwo Olawale. If the SWC leaves the UST Tech, is it going to transfer all our portions to GTI? Your portions have already been transferred to in RSW. You will see the portions you have that have already been registered will just reflect in your back office. Your portions are with GTI. To confirm this, go to your back office and order a certificate extract from the registry. You will see all your portions there. Your portions are already in GTI. Every portion that has been registered, your name is in the registry of owners of GTI. There are so many questions. Okay, the next one is from Samuel. What of us that have already bought shares for years, do we also have to migrate to the other platform? And please, what's the site for this RSW? Like I said, if you've already bought to the point you are content, you don't need to migrate. If you've bought to the point that okay, I'm sorry, I've taken more time.
John, thank you very much sorry for cutting you. We will still have a lot of things let's stop the recording right now.
Okay.
We will still have a lot of things to discuss. So summarize and close your meeting, please. Just summarize.
Thank you. So in conclusion, gentlemen and ladies, this evolution is a positive growth, both for the SWC and the GTI. And for us, it's a wake-up call to build structures that can transit from one platform to another. God bless you all and have a wonderful month of February.
Thank you very much. At this point, we are going to